allowed the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go.
And we know the consequences of things getting out of hand. It will interest us to see how best to govern ourselves to ensure that our people, and you said it in passing, that the primary responsibility of every government is the welfare and security of the people. When those two things can no longer be guaranteed, forget it. There can be a stable society. However, please let me conclude. I know I'm taking time. I have looked at, I've studied the history of Nigeria, how we even came into existence as separate kingdoms, communities, and whatever. If we don't want to relapse into actually what led us into being colonized in the first instance, because some people want to overlook that. That was a weakness that led to our colonialism. It was a weakness. I don't want to go to that issue. If you are strong enough, we would never have been colonized. So we are not strong enough, and that was what led to our own being dominated by others. And part of it is the tyranny of these individual dictators that we call rulers. If we go on believing that a man, a person, no matter how beautiful, no matter how good, who could have the capacity to go out 120 million people all alone without checks, we are joking. So, but by that consideration alone, I am opposed to executive system of government. I believe a collective arrangement which parliamentary system guarantees is best for a nation like Nigeria, if indeed we are committed to advancing the interests of the large population and mass of our people. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Who said?
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Aregbemogbo, Baba Kabiru, Baba Afusa as well. Somebody actually just said that he's also Baba Afusa. Aregbemogbo Baba Kabiru was a commissioner in Lagos. In fact, at a point, he was calling himself Oramiyan, a religious fanatic himself, or probably one of those who used religion to hoodwink and deceive people for political gain. He was sent to Osun State by Tinubu, the caucus of guys who were pushing the idea of Awolowo this, Awolowo that. In fact, they were pushing what they called true federalism, regional system of government, and all kinds of political ideologies that were so appealing to the Yorubas 20 years ago or 25 years ago. They were pushing this. And majority of the Yorubas who felt like politically cheated to have been forced to be part of this one Nigeria idea they followed these guys, including Tinubu, who publicly at the time rejected Nigeria. Okay? In fact, their own political ideology was that for any real progress, meaningful progress to take place in Nigeria, Nigeria had to go back to 1963 Republican Constitution. They deceived our people. So when they finally gained power, especially when they gained power in the western part of Nigeria, they then contributed to further the, impoverishment of our people. There are still people who believed in them, because it is too late for them to now kind of see through the fraud that these guys are. In 2000 and I think it was in 2020, sorry, in 2011, right? Then 2015, when Bokwari came, it was one of those who ensured that even though the Yorubas actually rejected Bokwari in 2011, in 2015, to some extent, he ensured that Bokwari was rigged in Osun State. This guy became governor of Osun through the Adefarasi, or what's that guy's name? The judge that was doling out and dishing out some of this civilian coup of that time, judicial coup, it was called. Before people could actually see through, Tinubu has already used the judiciary to reinstate some of these opportunists. Aregbemugbana Baba Kabiru became governor of Osun State, and within a year or two, Osun State was on the road to a total bankruptcy. They haven't recovered to this day, right? The worst after him, those who actually succeeded him became like worse and worse and worse after. And the Osun people, there are those who still defend him. But here is the point. These guys lied to our people to believe that partnering with the CPC of Bokwari was in the interest of the Yorubas. And the Yorubas became part and parcel of their change. The fraud called change that brought back Bokwari, an anti-Yoruba, enemy of Yoruba people, right, to power. Because they saw that as a chance for them to get closer to controlling Nigeria. And they did everything to make that happen. Bokwari now became the president of Nigeria. Guess what? True federalism no longer mattered to these guys. Regional system of government no longer was a thing. The 1963, returning back to the 1963 Republican Constitution was no longer their thing. In fact, Bokwari was asking the people, what did they mean by regional system? And this is why the guys behind him, they just kept mute because they lied to our people. So at the end of the day, one Nigeria, impoverished our people, not just impoverished our people more, it also terrorized our people. For 8 solid years, the Fulani terrorists were terrorizing our people, and these guys couldn't say a thing. They also supported Bokwari in destroying the entire Nigeria. That after his tenure, he was rewarded with the position of minister. Throughout that time, he was a minister. Nigeria was fine. Everything was fine. Then, somehow, I don't know, something happened between him and his political mentor, Tinubu. Tinubu wants to succeed Bokwari because according to him, Tinubu said there was an agreement that after Bokwari, Tinubu, will succeed Bokwari, and he expected all his lieutenants, including Pastor Ruga, Aregbemubo, and the rest of them, including Fashola and the rest of to support him in succeeding Bukwari. But was there something they saw that we didn't see? So they backed out. Rather than support Tinubu, they did their best to stop him, which finally sort of pitched him against the camp of Tinubu. Today, Aregbe is no longer, it's like a persona non grata in Osun. They are not in power in Osun, right? So here is what they said happened. Tinubu first, Tinubu putting in place or setting the stage for his eventual takeover of APC, Egbekegbe, after Bukwari. Tinubu was going to use his own cousin, supposedly, Oyetola. Oyetola was to become governor so that they can secure Osun. Okay? But Aregbe Mugbana didn't want Oyetola to succeed him. So he did all he could, but somehow, with the help of Oshiomole as the chairman, they managed to get Oyetola in as the candidate of APC in Osun. That was the beginning of the end of influence of Aregbe Mugbo in Osun. Now, because of this betrayal, they call him a betrayer, by the way, because of this betrayal of a thing between them, Aregbe Mugbana decided to further sabotage Tinubu in becoming the candidate of APC. This is between them. In all of this, all the interest of Yoruba land, all the talk and talk about regional system, all the talk and talk about Awolowo this, Awolowo that, they no longer matter. It was now about the political survivor of this duo. So Aregbe Mugbo was controlling Alimosho local government area in Lagos State. As a former repairer, refrigerator repairer in Lagos, who ventured into politics and became one of the strongest men behind Tinubu in Alimosho. So it was one of the strongest of Tinubu's allies. So what could have happened? What went wrong? Nobody really knows. Now that Aregbe Mugbo is no longer in the political corridors of power anymore. And suddenly, they just realized that, oh, it's true. Nigeria is so big that one man should not be controlling the whole country. Talking about parliamentary system of government now, where let everybody just go back to their region. Let everybody just try and control this and that, because he's no longer in power. And according to the Tinubu supporters, yeah, they are tearing him apart every now and then. You see, a lot of people have lied or used their people in furthering their political agenda in that contraption, lying to themselves. No, we're lying to the people without kind of like lying to the deceitful people. And there are still those who are using that similar technique today in all parts of Nigeria, especially in Yoruba land. There were those who believed that, there are those who believed that Tinubu actually cared about Yoruba. To the point that some of these mofos will tell you that if not for Tinubu, there will be no place for Yorubas in Nigeria today, when there is actually no place for anybody in that contraption except for themselves. They all know the truth. That's one thing. Majority of these guys actually knows that Nigeria is not working. Nigeria will never work. Not the way it is currently constituted. The way Nigeria is constituted as we speak is just pretty much like a company, right? Where everyone, somehow, Ogata, yeah, or something. Whether Nigeria better, better, concern them. It is turn by turn Nigeria Limited. Everybody is waiting for his own turn. Baba, take your turn, make you come out. Just say whatever you can to the people to make them feel like you care, even when you don't. So Aregbe Mugbo is coming out to tell us now that a lot of people have become poorer. Why few people have become extremely rich? And somehow, Aregbe Mugbo believes that It is not just a coup that can happen. A revolution can happen. Really? These are those who backed the what do you call it? The murderous Boko Haram regime that killed Nigerians, that turned the military to a killing machine, the police to killing machines. They were killing Nigerians, but nothing was wrong at the time. And there are those who are with Tinubu now. Tinubu has also turned the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police to killing machines, killing Nigerians, jailing Nigerians, criminalizing self-determination, criminalizing their protest in a supposed democracy. These were supposed to be the progressives, so the progressives. There are those who are backing Tinubu now. When Tinubu no longer have that power, when they no longer have the same power themselves, they will automatically now remember that this Nigeria cannot work this way. Even though some of you will listen to them and somehow the right people like us would say it to your face every now and then, that accept the fact that they are using you to further push their own agenda, the agenda that in no way represents any tribe, any ethnic, or any religion. In that contraption, it is always personal. But there are those who are so gullible, so gullible, that they listen to these guys and they help them push their agenda. And this agenda is never in your own interest. Once they are no longer in the position of, in any favorable position, right? Once they are no longer sought after, then suddenly they will become so like, oh, our eyes don't clear. Nigeria cannot work this way. We all need to go back to regionalism. We all need to In fact, they will begin to talk about a possible revolution. How the people will revolt. How the people can revolt. But when they have right now, those around Tinubu, they will tell you that everything is perfect. But Tinubu is doing everything to make Nigeria better. Because it is their turn to chop. Once they are no longer in the proximity of power, yeah, they will now remember that this contraption can't work. They will now remember that, oh, we should probably have a new constitution. Oh, we should actually have a true federalism. Oh, everybody should actually control their resources. But the moment they are there chopping or eating, Nigeria is perfect. But you, the zombies that listens to them, including those of you zombies that are listening to the likes of Kalu right now and those around him. In another few years, these people are going to come like Aregbemugo. They will come to you and say, this Nigeria cannot work. And some of you dummies, you will also agree. This is true. And this country can never work. One expired, retired comedian, Benga Deyinka, the other day, came out and said, if Tinubu cannot fix Nigeria, nobody can fix Nigeria. Really? That same Tinubu has now been confirmed by the FBI, CIA, that is actually their asset. Not that it is new, not that majority of you don't even know that before. But now you have it on official record that Tinubu is the asset of the FBI, the asset of the CIA. See, Tinubu was a drug dealer in America, okay? And when he was caught, he ran back to Nigeria. When he ran back to Nigeria, other friends of his, they were picked up, arrested, and Tinubu, that's the reason why Tinubu was not arrested, though. Tinubu got the hints that they are clamping down on the drug dealers in America, and he ran back to Nigeria. Tinubu was not the only person who was a drug dealer in America at the time. His mother, Bibatu Mogaji, was a drug dealer too. His wife, Remi Tinubu, was a drug dealer too. Now, when I say drug dealer, I'm talking about people who are like a drug mules in America. This information are not like, like some of these Ronukus will say, hey, you better watch your mouth. Do you have evidence? Do you think America will know somebody is a drug dealer and they will let him go? you are just being clever by half. Let me give you back the backstory. There was this guy who was a massive heroin trafficker. And they also have those who are working with them, smuggling heroin, trafficking heroin to America in the 80s. But because the heroin dealers, drug dealers, they also need bankers to help them clean their money. So that was where Tinubu came in. So Tinubu helped them, right, to open different bank accounts in his name, in his wife's name, in the name of some other people he knew then. So that, once the drug money comes in, it gets paid into these bank accounts and then gets transferred as often until the clampdown started. When the clampdown started, right, Tinubu got the hint of it. He ran to Nigeria. When he ran to Nigeria, some of those who were not so lucky to run to Nigeria with him, they were arrested, including the ringleader. In the process, among other things, they found with these drug dealers, so money were traced into Tinubu's account. And he's already away in Nigeria. When he got to Nigeria, right, because he's been partly, right, funding the Nadeco of that time. This guy had no real job, per se. In fact, the only job they claim he had in America, it was being paid $1,200. But this is a guy who had over $1.6 million in bank. So American DEA, CIA, including the FBI too. In fact, the FBI in particular decided to cut a deal with this guy. If he could give them some of those, he's been helping to launder their money. Tinubu. And in fact, there's a particular $1.6 million in your bank that, listen, if you can give us the names of your colleagues and the rest, give them up, right? We can make a deal with you. Rather than charge you for drug dealing, right? What we're going to do is that we're just going to deal with, we're going to charge you for non-declaration of the source of this, your 1.6 million, or not paying tax on it. Tinubu gave the names of most of his fellow drug dealers. And the drug dealers has been helping to launder money. He gave their names. So many of them ended up serving long time in jail. But they didn't stop there. Oh, this guy is also involved in the politics in Nigeria. How can we work with you? This is how Tinubu got recruited as an asset. And it wasn't long after that Abacha overthrew Shonekon, became the president, the Edo State in Nigeria, chased the Americans away. Nigeria became a country with, so much sanctions, right? A pariah state. So they needed the likes of Tinubu and many others like him to use them as a sleeper cell that can possibly, if possible, to help them get rid of Abacha. This is like how Tinubu got recruited. This is how he became the asset of the, this is why he didn't go to jail. This is why he was never extradited. And when it was time, when Abacha started targeting him, when it was time, they got him out of Nigeria. That was how he ended up in the UK. You see, this story can actually make a movie. The story of Tinubu can make a movie in the world of today. And I'm saying this because there are like hundreds of pages of evidence of this Tinubu's drug dealing, heroin trafficking in the 80s, in the early 90s. Now, they filed a Freedom of Information Act case against the FBI in America to release, before the 2023 Charade, to release all the files of Tinubu. Guess what? There are over 10,000. This is not joke. Over 10,000 files on Tinubu. You see that one that David got us the last time? That's just a tip of the iceberg. They said like almost all of the agencies in America investigated Tinubu and his heroin trafficking dealings in America. Full-time drug dealer. But what saved him, like I said, was that when it was time to clamp down on them, he was already in Nigeria. In fact, he was already trying to contest as a senator in Nigeria, which he did contested. And he became a senator in Nigeria in 1992, 1993. He became a senator. So rather than extradite him for his crime, he got recruited and became one of the assets of the FBI, one of the assets of the CIA in Nigeria. So when David requested that they wanted Tinubu's drug dealing files in America, it came back as more. Tinubu is not just a Tinubu. No. He is deeper and deeper than what a lot of us have read about him. And because he's an asset of the CIA, almost an asset of the DEA, or let's say the asset of CIA to start with, the DEA, the FBI, and other agencies, right? They have to what? They have to seal his files. The only way Tinubu's file is going to make it to the public is if Tinubu stops supplying information to the CIA. There was a bomb blast in Nigeria near the airport, which actually in fact, in the airport in Nigeria, which actually killed 2 airport officials. This bomb was allegedly, set up by Tinubu, but it wasn't Tinubu who set it up. During that time, it was around the time they were looking for how to get Abacha. All these things are like snippets from all what Tinubu got involved in, right? In the effort of trying to get Abacha, Tinubu was actually supplying information to the CIA about the political development, about people, about friends, including some of the meetings he had with Abacha, because he was also closer to Abacha, even though they were claiming to be fighting for Abiola's mandate. All these things I'm saying to you may sound like, where did you get all of this? The documents are out there. But what they did was that during the last election, they were supposed to release all of that documents, whether it's going to work in your favor or not. They were supposed to release them. They were so close to getting those documents out. Tinubu now launched a court case. You know about it now. He launched a court case, a defense, that if they released all of his information, if they released those documents, it will have, it will have catastrophic consequences. That's what he said. So he succeeded because the Democrats, right? The Obama's, the Obama's clique, the Joe Biden's clique. I'm talking about their clique that way. It will be in their best interest for all their files not to make it to the public. And they did try to make sure it never made it to the public. The few ones they managed to release, they redacted it. Anywhere you see Tinubu's name, you have to blank it out. They make the old document useless. When they finally actually said, okay, release them in parts. They released partially. But you know something? A lot of us have always been suspecting this. That their efforts, the level at which Tinubu, let's start with that of Bokwari, the level at which Bokwari destroyed Nigeria, the country that was already a country that was listed as one of the 3 fastest growing economies in the world in 2014, 2015. They destroyed it, terrorized it. In 8 years, it dropped and lost more than half of its worth. People lost their jobs, people lost their businesses, people lost their lives. In 8 years. But you see the damages that Tinubu has done in the last 18 months alone will tell you that the intention of America is to ensure that Nigeria never, ever, ever make anything called progress, ever. This is not ordinary. So David and his partners, they went back to court. This time around, to overturn the court, the judgment of a Chicago judge, a Democrat, who ruled that Tinubu's name must be redacted. And everyone associated with Tinubu must be redacted from the FBI document that could have given you the full details of Tinubu's drug dealing in America. So as to make it more useless, when you are reading it, it's pure useless. You can't, you don't see the name. I'm talking about detailed how Tinubu's activity. You see, the one that I mentioned, his wife, there is evidence of that. It's still online. Before they finally, when they realized that he could become president, and the only way to make him president, right, of Nigeria, which is good for America, to further destroy Nigeria at the time, was to make sure that all that releasing of that file, it was stopped. So they went back to court. Guess what their FBI had to say in court this time around? They said, yes, Tinubu may be the president of Nigeria, a public official. But the thing here is this. The Nigerians may want to know about the activities of their government, but they don't have any right to know all the activity of their president. CIA actually went to court and they gave a deposition to say Tinubu and his activities in America cannot be made public because they have an arrangement with him that they will protect his name, they will protect all his secrets. They actually said that in court, that it is the American CIA policy to protect the secret of their assets. We protect the secret of our assets. President of Nigeria is CIA assets. You get that? That's what they have to put out there in a court document. Let me see if I can read this part. Right? The plaintiff suggests that Tinubu has forfeited his privacy interest because he is now the president of Nigeria. But public figures do not forfeit privacy interest because of their public status. This is the court document. They said, holding that public officials do not surrender rights to personal privacy, particularly where the interest is for details of third-party investigation. Okay? Relatedly, plaintiff asserts that there is a heightened public interest in the Tinubu investigative records because Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, right? So reading further. So the FOIA appeal that they filed, and because United States residents of Nigerian ancestry and the Nigerian press are interested in Tinubu's communications with the FBI, right? So they said, but it fails to appreciate that the only relevant public interest that weighs into the calculus for purposes of exemption is the citizens' right to be informed. Nigerians deserve to know, right? So, in part, here, they said, revealing the, let's go back to the top. They said the CIA does not reveal the identity of its human sources because revealing the identity of a confidential source could expose agency tradecraft, other human sources, and specific intelligence interests. I want to take this out so that I can read it further. Listen, they said, other human sources and specific intelligence interests and activities. Right? So Williams further explained, human sources, they are talking about Tinubu. Human sources can be expected to furnish information to the CIA only when they are confident the CIA can and will do everything in its power to prevent the public disclosure of their cooperation. In the case of a person who has been cooperating with the CIA, official confirmation of that cooperation could cause the target to take retaliatory action against that person or against their family or friends. It also places in jeopardy every individual with whom the cooperating individual has had contacts. Thus, the indiscretion of one source is a chain of intelligence sources. In a chain of intelligence sources, can damage an entire spectrum of sources. As such, confirming or denying the existence of records on a particular foreign national, like Tinubu, reasonably could be expected to cause damage to U.S. national security by indicating whether or not the CIA maintained any human intelligence sources related to Tinubu and identifying any access or lack of access any such sources had to intelligence concerning him. For these reasons, the CIA determined that confirming or denying the existence or non-existence of records responsive to the request could reasonably be expected to cause damage to national security. Further, this information is currently and properly classified and is therefore exempt from disclosure under FOIA exemption. This is the argument of the CIA. Now, the point here is this. The CIA in America, Central Intelligence Agency of America, just confirmed that exposing or accepting the FOIA request appeal of this Nigerian is tantamount to a threat to national security. It could cause Americans jeopardy to Americans' national security. And America know they play with national security. Once they drop that bar, once they drop the ball of national security, their court and everybody will protect the American interest. But the message therein is that Tinubu is so neck deep as the asset of the CIA in America. The asset of the CIA in America is Nigeria president. Nigeria, the biggest, the largest black nation on earth, is a subordinate of an agency in America. That means everything inside Nigeria is right there, an open book to the CIA. So the Nigeria president is an asset to America's CIA. That is treasonable felony. That in itself, right, is an impeachable offense if Nigeria is a country. They may shut down my channel after this broadcast, but it's good that those of you who have the chance of listening to this, you will remember. You get it now. Because right now, we have a confirmation, which is that the president of Nigeria, who was supposed to protect the national interest, the national security of Nigeria, national safety of Nigeria, is an asset of America. So America, who have a compromise on him, will now continue, right, to help undermine the national safety, national security of Nigeria. So those of you who are claiming to be one Nigerianist, your president, Drogi Kolu, is an asset of the CIA, which means the only interest that will matter is the interest of America. No wonder he was willing, he was ready to attack Niger Republic because those ones staged a revolution that removed another Western puppet, Bazoum, from power. He didn't consult with the National Assembly. He did not consult with the people of Nigeria. He just secretly, he was ready to go and attack Niger Republic and reinstate the person where they remove. This is scary. This is a court document. It is a court document. It is like actually an argument in an American court. So somehow, Donald Trump's planned withdrawal of the American American forces, bases, and all of that from this western part of Africa, if he actually does it, if he managed to do that, and some of these guys who are installing these puppets to undermine the growth of their own people, the growth of their country in Africa. Maybe if this Trump comes in January, there could be some level of, reprieve. They have a lot of expose to release anyway. We hope that then, with an executive signature, this Tinubu's entire thing that Tinubu actually did in America can be released. Though you may think it won't have any real effect, but I believe that even Tinubu himself, who said in argument when he argued in an American court last year, he said if they release these documents, it's going to cause a serious damages. It's going to destroy him. Is it going to destroy him, not just in Nigeria, but in America too? Because if Americans get to know that the brain behind the drug epidemic in some states in America is the person who is now the president in Nigeria, how do you think Americans are going to react to this? I'm just kind of like being curious now, just asking questions now. When Americans realize that some of their uncles, aunties, their children who became drug addicts with the drug epidemic, drug abuse and all of that in America in the late 80s and early 90s, that person was shielded by the American CIA, American FBI, and is the president in Nigeria today. Is that going to actually like lead to some backlashes? And those who are responsible in 2022 and 2023, who were responsible in blocking the American court from releasing those documents, would the action of Donald Trump actually lead to some of them say, betrayal of America too? I'm talking about in this instance, the blowback will be huge than what so many of us can envisage. I know some of us are saying that the American foreign policy is all the same, but these Democrats, this American under this Democratic Party, Joe Biden and his gang, they did everything in the last minute to block and shield Tinubu. And that wasn't an accident. Immediately, Tinubu got sworn in May 2023. Ray, what be that FBI director's name? Ray visited Nigeria to come and congratulate Tinubu. Yeah, there is an image of that. He went there to go and congratulate somebody who was behind the drug, heroin epidemic in Chicago, in some of these, American states in the late 80s and early 90s. He came to Nigeria to congratulate him. Now they're arguing in American courts right now that his file cannot be released for the sake of national security in America. National security. I do hope, I'm just hoping that Donald Trump, that some of you claim you don't like, Donald Trump will be interested in this as well as they launch investigation into the activities of the CIA, the activities of the FBI. Because in case if you have been following their politics, that has also been a big thing, in case if you don't know. Yeah. Remember that they raided Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's home in Florida, where they said that he left the White House with some classified documents, and to them that's the crime. So meanwhile, he said as a president, he has the power to act as a president or former president. He has the power to actually move those documents. Now he's interested in FBI activities. He's interested in CIA activities. If you have been following their politics, he is willing to purge them, the DOJ, Department of Justice in America. All those who sanctioned some of this civilian coup in Africa, those who sponsored puppets, criminals, to help them further, sabotage the growth of these African countries, including Nigeria, would they be exposed too? Apart from whatever the legacy media is feeding you, I am asking you to kind of look into this as well. Why would the CIA want a drug dealer to be president of Nigeria? Why did they shield him? Why did a Democrat judge, after all the evidence and what was at stake, said the documents, the file of Tinubu should be redacted, should not be released? Now that man has become the president of Nigeria. He has destroyed Nigeria. He has destroyed lives. He has destroyed the people more, and he's still on it, doing it as we speak. So what is exact goal of the Democrats who did this to Nigeria? Because it all started from Obama. They have brought in somebody who is a jihadist, a terrorist, to come in a political party that is a political party of terrorists, APC, Egbekegbe, to destroy Nigeria. And they have done it. Only for them to also shield the drug dealer. Tinubu was supposed to actually, did you know that he never actually had the chance of going to America again? Until they package him and repackage him, and today the rest of Nigeria, they are paying the price. So I'm asking questions now. I'm asking questions based on what is publicly available. This is not a conjecture. This is not something that is being cooked up. Or no. These are available documents, publicly available information. So if there's something I am looking forward to in January, I am looking forward to this. Because right now, the Democrats are still the government in America. And I don't know the judge where they're having this argument, the court. Let me see, what court is that again? District of Columbia. Is that not going to be in Georgia? Shebi, District of Columbia, is that Washington, or Georgia? Right. They are arguing in front of a court. Is Washington, Abi? Good, Washington, D.C. I don't know if the judge is a Democrat. Possibly is a Democrat. Right? And since they have mentioned the national security, because true, right? True. The CIA, they always have to protect their sources. If you become an asset of CIA or FBI, whatever you tell them. There was a time that WikiLeaks released some intercepted wires. What Tinubu was telling the US ambassador to Nigeria. It was actually ratting out politicians. There was this intercepted. It's online. All these things are online. The same thing with El Rufaya. El Rufaya too was ratting out some politicians in Nigeria, some pastors. He was saying all manner of things to the ambassador. And the ambassador was like, relaying everything they told him back to Washington. And I'm talking about as far back as 1994, even when Tinubu became the governor of Lagos State as well. He was always there telling them things, And WikiLeaks got wind of some of them, intercepted some of them, and they published them in the tens of thousands of documents that WikiLeaks also exposed at the time. Go on and check it online. Tinubu was opening a bank account, to collect a proceeds of heroin. His wife, Rat, was also opening bank accounts to collect proceeds of heroin. And this is just the little we know. This is the little we know. They said if they release Tinubu's documents, hey, fear go catch you. True. And that is why, for this one, I don't think anyone should possibly just, try to find the excuse anymore. Okay? Tinubu is their asset. and he will do their bidding. And their bidding is to keep you underdeveloped, keep you poor. World Bank, IMF, and the rest of them, they will continue to have field days. They will continue to have a field day in Nigeria. You are not escaping this. You are not. And it's very sad. Oh my God, it's really sad. Abacha.
To ensure that some of these incidents are avoided. But at the same time, the transition program is for the nation, but the major players in the transition program are the politicians themselves. So the politicians themselves will have to come and bury their differences. Will have to play politics the way it is, not politics of animosity, not politics of religious or ethnic, sentiments or anything, no matter how devastating to the unity and stability of the nation. Once it favors that individual politician, he is ready to exploit it at the expense and at the cost of the unity or stability of the nation. So what we have done is clear, it's simple, it's straightforward, and it's step by step. But I tell you, we know we are all Nigerians. The politicians themselves, it's a big challenge on them. They need a change of attitude, a change of mind for them to come and play responsible politics. And that's why, even as far as rotation is concerned, as far as power sharing is concerned, which is the main issue in the politics of this country, we took the pain to go into detail and divide this nation into 6. So the question of majority, the question of minority is absolutely immaterial. It's question of quality. It's question of the individual Nigerian who possesses the right leadership, who possesses the right quality. That is the issue. So the question of marginalization is completely out of it, is absolutely addressed. So there is no section of this country that will claim to be marginalized as far as the present system is concerned. So the issue of marginalization is out. The issue of sharing or involvement in power in this nation is out. And all these things, we took upon account of our past experiences as far as the political evolution of this nation is concerned. And we believe and we pray what we have done is something which is enduring, which will reinforce the peace, the stability, the unity and the understanding of this nation, and which will form the basis of a stronger, a sounder democratic system to ensure that some of the...
They were carrying out different operations in Nigeria. Some of them, a lot of us, probably we were too young. Baba, Abacha was going to be smoked out, but he died before they could get to him in 1998. That was why Abacha was also brutal. He knew then that the entire country has totally been compromised against him. Civilians, military, everyone, like they've infiltrated everywhere. And Abacha was also so brutal. Anybody that is suspect, Baba, you they go. There is nothing like a kid glove. Sure you get. If they grab you, now die you day. Abacha also kind of had to commission Sergeant Roger. About shoot them, shoot this one, because Abacha was getting intelligence report that CIA, they have infiltrated everywhere. He was going to be killed. Because Abacha actually told America to leave Nigeria. And now, he told them to leave just same way all this junta in Niger Republic, in Mali, in Burkina Faso. They told American forces to take their bases and leave their region. That was what Abacha did too. And Abacha knew then that they were after his life. Civilians, military officers, police officers, journalists, Baba, they were sponsoring so many people against him. And he knew then that this was being sponsored by the CIA. So many groups were infiltrated. Because Abacha stopped the oil exploration, American businesses, anything American in Nigeria. Baba, you have to go. So he himself was like, you have to go too. But they couldn't just come in and use their soldiers or American this or that to take Abacha out. They needed people to give them more information about Abacha, his movements, his medical conditions, and so many other things like about Abacha. Abacha, they were even trying as much as possible. Some of the protests that you witnessed that time, or Abiola this, Abiola that, they are mostly sponsored by America. Honestly. So that was why Abacha was like so brutal that if he grab you, put you for jail, you are lucky. Others now to kill you. Assassination. Abacha was shooting and killing his all these politicians too. Because to him, right, whatever you have told America, that will be the last thing you will tell them. Tinubu had to run away from Nigeria too. Person will be saying Abacha, himself be Abacha friend. Do you know that? That Tinubu was Abacha's friend. Until he got the wind that he is next. They go shoot him and kill him. He ran away from Nigeria. Who smuggled him out of Nigeria? Possibly the CIA too. Now they route. Who are those who are actually funding that route that time? Possibly CIA. A lot of things that happened that time, including the media war against Abacha at the time, they were sponsored by America. Because Abacha also more or less like declared war on America in Nigeria. Seriously. Then it was like he wanted to convert himself to a civilian president. Then boom, he had an heart attack. And then he died before they could get to him. Till tomorrow, there are those who still believe that Abacha and Ahapu then give him. They brought some Ashewo. They brought some Ashewo from somewhere, and they gave Abacha Ahapu. Others believe that it was Pope John Paul II, who wore a glove that was poisoned. Excuse me, that was poisoned. And Pope John Paul, right, took Abacha at the airport to come and plead with Abacha to release all the political detainees. And that was, they said, when Abacha now got back to the villa, he started complaining of, loss of breath. So they said, it must be the Pope that shook him. Others said, no, it was Mahmoud Abbas, or what is that name of that Palestinian leader? There are so many conspiracies around what killed Abacha. Because at the time, the CIA wanted him, they wanted him gone. But before they could get to him, he died. And the guy who succeeded him, Abdulsalami Abubakar, because they know what was going on in the country then. Nigeria was so tensed. It was so tensed, right? That you don't even want to be the president of that country. And they said, okay, you know what? Give me 7 months. I will return the power to civilian. I don't want to be here. I said, okay, fine. We'll support you. America got involved. And that was why, when they said the deal they were making was that the northern Nigeria, they were so angry that Abacha is dead. They have lost. Abiola too must die. I mean, this is part of some of the conspiracy stories they told us. So, Abiola too must die since Abacha don't die. So Abacha died. I think Abacha died in June. Abiola died a month later in July 1998. After the visit of American delegation who came to come and plead with Abiola to forget his mandate so that it will be like a reconciliation. They can do everything afresh. They can start everything afresh. So Condoleezza Rice, according to Abiola's doctor, who is probably dead now too, right? He said Condoleezza Rice and this American delegation, they came. And when they came, they served Abiola tea, which after Abiola drank the tea, Abiola started complaining of loss of breath, similarly to how Abacha died. So Abiola had the heart attack, right? But instead of them to call the doctor for Abiola, right, they said they took him out to an open, and they took off his agbada, you get, so that maybe they were like, breathing him. By the time by the time his doctor was to be called, Abiola was like cold dead, lying on the floor like that. So to the Northerners, they say, okay, now the equation don't balance. Here you get. It was Abiola's mandate that led to the whole wahala in the country, that Abacha had to be killed. You know, all that kind of conspiracy. America was still involved. America still involved. So it was one of those darkest era of Nigeria. Here you get. So if Donald Trump can just probably help to unseal Tinubu's files and all the agencies that investigated Tinubu in America, for posterity's sake, for the sake of our own children, it is very important. So now we know better. And we deserve to know better. That the president of Nigeria is an American asset. That alone is a treasonable felony. It is an impeachable offense. You know? I know some of you, the Ronukus, you are not going to agree. It doesn't matter. But somehow, it be like say the chicken don't they come home to roost now. My children will never grow up to see Tinubu as what? As president or as a leader ever. And now you have to tell your children too. This is an American asset, CIA asset in America that became the president of Nigeria. And the court document has confirmed it, that he provided them with information, this and that, okay? And that is why they cannot let anybody unseal his documents. Tell your children that. There was an implosion, an explosion rather, in Jos, Plateau State, this morning. And according to them, they say it was an IED explosion. Okay, even though their governor denied it, they sent these policemen, and this is what they had to say.
So come this morning, we started opening shop. Not quite in the interval of 1 hour. We see the bomb squad coming up, then check, then sample here. So everybody clear. So we're both of us, everybody get to come move out of here.
I saw bomb squad. They came in. They started say there's something that suspecting towards this place. That's something like bomb. I said okay. How did the thing happen? They now say we should close up shop. I will lock up our shops.
The police connected RAD was buried.
This morning there was a report of a suspected hole here, as you can see, that suspected to have been planted with IED. But the EOD technicians we are immediately deployed to the scene. They dug the place and discovered that nothing was inside the place, and as you can see, there's nothing. So, and that's why I'm here to assure members of the public that they should not be afraid.
He further assured the public of efforts to continually secure lives and property of peace.
As if to say they will do that too. It's unfortunate, but this is what their own governor, Mutfangi also had to say about it. Politicians.
There was a scare this morning in Jos at Terminus where a rumor went around that there was a bomb, and the EOPD of the police had to be there, and I'm glad to inform everyone here that there was no bomb whatsoever. But it was good that people were sensitive, that they saw an object and they suspected that this object should be investigated. I think that is part of what we are called to do in society. Let's be sensitive to things around us. Let's be sensitive to movements around us. Let's be sensitive to comments around us. We've been able to nip a lot of potential disasters by picking up credible intelligence, and we're able to nip the situations in the bud. But we must also be responsible, particularly in the use of social media. Social media has become a tool of conflict creation. It has become a tool of destabilization, and we must be responsible in making sure that we manage social media responsibly. There was
Nuisance Lele.
Just so you remember, always. Kalu was in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, yesterday. 2 days ago, he arrived there. Yesterday, he attended what was called the Arab Islamic Summit, joint summit. where he pushed for a two-state solution between Israel and Palestine. But now we have realized that he didn't go to Saudi Arabia because of Israel and Gaza. He went there to see if they could possibly borrow him money. Interest-free loan. Kolu went to Saudi Arabia to beg for $5 billion. And according to them, they said they needed $5 billion to help Tinubu in his economic reform in Nigeria, whatever that even means. On everything is economic reform. Economic reform. They went to the Referendum Bank. They took $3.3 billion loan using 167 million barrels of crude oil as collateral. $3.3 billion loan. They said they used that to defend the Naira. Today, Nigerian Naira jumped. It's making sense now. It is actually making sense now that Tinubu is actually out to further destroy Nigeria. And he will do it to the satisfaction of America. He will do it. It took Bokwari 8 years, right, to move Nigeria's exchange rate, Nigerian Naira, from 148 Naira to $1 to 710 Naira to $1.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
thank
shall I
you,
say?
Lord.
Thank you,
We can deliver,
So it has taken Tinubu 17 months to take that Naira to $1 from 710 Naira to $1 to 1,749 Naira to $1. 17 months. It's making sense now. It is. Right? 3.3 billion to defend the Naira. What does that even mean? Now you are using a 12.9, nearly $13 billion worth of crude oil as collateral. So he left Riyadh this morning. We have not received information if Saudi Arabia will borrow him the $5 billion to revive Nigeria economy. That's what he went to beg for. He didn't go there because of because of Israel and Gaza. He left. We don't know where he left to. I don't think he's arrived in Nigeria yet. Or have you seen him in Nigeria? Some people believe that he left Nigeria for Paris. That is probably in Paris or is here in London. We don't know yet. His plane is yet to land anywhere. Abuja, Paris, or London. Meanwhile, back in Nigeria, they are debating how much is it they will be selling their petroleum products to you, despite the fact that you now have a Dangote refinery that's supposed to be producing a locally refined PMS product, right? But price is also an issue. Availability was a problem, maybe not anymore. Now affordability is now the problem. Here is that Ipman, supposed independent marketers, petrol marketers of Nigeria, president, who just told us that they have agreed with Dangote that it will be selling them a liter of petroleum for, I think 945 naira. Listen to him. It is the battle. In fact, listen to this first.
My members are very happy to understand that now we are not buying product through the third party, but rather we buy product directly through Dangote. So it's a very good, welcome development for independent petroleum marketers and the Nigerian masses in general.
All right. Now, your association promises lower fuel prices through this direct lifting arrangement. Can you provide specific figures on expected price reductions across different regions and the factors that might affect these projections?
Well, in fact, we are still on the analysis of the price, the way our price will be in the whole nation. But the most important thing is to understand that we today, we are not buying through the third party, we are buying directly through Dangote. And immediately when the transaction has taken seriously, we can come and analyze so that we may have a uniform price all over the country. Everybody, any part of the country, we are going to explain to the Nigerian masses, this is what the independent petroleum marketers will sell in Sokoto, this is what they will sell in Maiduguri, this is what they will sell in Port Harcourt. So all the nation, including Lagos and Abuja.
All right, we hear you on that. We certainly look forward to that when it's time. Now, given Dangote's emerging monopolistic position when it comes to refining, what measures has Ipman put in place to prevent price manipulation, which is crucial at this point, and ensure fair competition in the downstream sector?
Well, you know, this thing what Dangote has done to the independent petroleum marketers, so he put them in such a way that they will become competitive together with the NNPC retail, Maiyegun, and DAPman. Because before, we are obtaining our product through them. So now, instead of going through them and get the product, he promised us that we are going to lift product direct through his refinery.
And the guy was pretty much on a media run today. Nothing is really concrete until when he arrived the channels and he said, well, this is the price that Dangote is offering us. And if things goes according to plan, then a liter of petroleum will be sold, maybe for 1,150 naira in faraway places like Maiduguri and others. The NNPC themselves also came out today to say, oh yeah, we will be buying from Dangote now. Like, it seems they are doing a media run to also mislead you, the people, again. Because I think it was last week, it was reported that there are about 6 countries that are already willing and ready to lift Dangote's petroleum if Nigeria is not going to buy it. Tinubu and his gang, they just invested in petroleum mixing, wherever, in Malta, where it is believed that adulterated products is being imported from. They are making a kill. So then there's a twist this week, okay? Because last week, the same NNPC, independent marketers, they were asking a court to strike out the charges brought against them by Dangote, because Dangote went to court to ask the court to stop NNPC from importing fuel to Nigeria and patronizing, cancel their import licenses, right? Then these marketers also went to court to say, court, come on, throw out Dangote's prayers. We will continue to import because it is cheaper to import than to buy from Dangote. Then this week, that is changing to something like this. The same guy, the same day, 2 different stations where they are running what I believe is a media run, and there is something fishy. I don't know, something in me is telling me that something is fishy, but this one is more detailed in his in what he said. Okay, and we can possibly quote him verbatim, in another few days, right? Listen.
Now that you're patronizing him, could you tell us how much are you buying from him?
The price?
Yes.
Just like what I have told you, presently, he gives us the price of the, there are 2 different prices. There is the one that we can load through the bases and carry to our various depots at the rate of 940 naira per liter. Then for the depots, it's at the rate of 990 naira per liter.
Why is that difference?
This one is the main. This one you have to load it and carry it to another part
of the country.
Of the country. No, not of the country, of the state. You know, we use bases to carry this product. It's 2 ways. There is one that we can load in the loading gantry, and there is one that we can load through the bases. So through the bases like Port Harcourt, Warri, Calabar, we have to use bases because there is no Dangote loading gantry there. We have to carry it to our private depots and discharge and distribute it to our.
So naturally, when you load from gantry, it should be cheaper.
Yes.
Okay. So how much?
Not will be cheaper. It depends because this one is 960 or 940.
Then the
other one is 990.
Okay. So the difference is there. So how much should we expect to buy, or how much should people expect to buy petrol from Ipman stations in Lagos and Abuja, for instance?
Well, all the assurance that I will be giving you with this new development, our product, independent petroleum marketers, will be cheaper.
Yeah, how much? NNPC is
no, I cannot specifically say it because it depends on the place that you are going to carry the product. It depends on the distance. But all what I know, both NNPC, DAPMAN, and NNPC, DAPMAN, and which one again?
Ipman?
Maiyegun.
Or Moman?
Moman.
Major marketers.
Maiyegun, major marketers now. So all of them, by God's grace, what we are trying to see, our product is cheaper. Wherever they are selling product, our own is cheaper than their product.
Assuming their product is 1,060. Your product should be cheaper than 1,060.
Yes, we may decide to sell 1,055.
1,055? I thought
it's a difference. Because we are in the regulation period. So you may not expect the price to be so much difference. But at least any reduction, even if it's one...
Why wouldn't it be so much difference?
No, the reason why it will not be so much different because already there is no subsidy in any of the commodity. So you have to sell the way you obtain.
Yeah, but you said that the profits you were giving to maybe DAPMAN and NNPC...
No, this one that I have been telling you, I'm just citing an example. I said no matter how, our price will be a little bit lower.
So if we see any petrol station that sells higher than 1,060, are they still IPMAP members? Would anything happen?
I'm not trying to say 1,060 because it differs on the location.
No, I'm saying assuming in the states where it is 1,060. Because if you use NNPC cost as benchmark in any state, anyone that sells above that,
yes, with this recent development, definitely anywhere you go, you will find that at the end of the day, we have the cheapest price.
But we also understand, and talk to us about it, that the landing cost has dropped. Does this have any impact on how much you're expected to buy from anywhere, either from Dangote or anywhere?
But already I tell you, we tell our members to buy through Dangote or any Nigerian refinery because we have full satisfaction.
Now that you're patronizing him.
So you see that that's something in me that is always very, that's always very hard for me to believe whatever they say is also right or maybe right. These are not honest people. Something is cooking, okay? And none of this is actually going to bring any succor or relief to the suffering Nigerians. None of this. You see this whole back and forth, this media run and all of that. Something is cooking. The only thing I picked up at some point is that they are going to increase the price of petroleum soon. In another few days, they are going to announce a new price. And it's not going to be a dropped price. It is going to be another higher price for this same petroleum products. All this, to read this cho that you are hearing left, right, and center, something is not adding up. I have done series of analysis on this whole thing before. Dangote is not lowering its price for anybody. Okay? The Tinubu and his gang that are paying themselves subsidy, which they continually deny. They always deny it. Because what they are paying now is not subsidy like, oh, you bring your fuel. They ask you how much is the landing cost. How much do you want to sell it? Oh, yeah, take the difference. Sell it for this price. That is not what they are doing now. What they are doing is called dollar subsidy. You cannot import any product into Nigeria without getting a forex to go and import. And between the central bank and the NNPC, that is where the shady deal of the dollar subsidy is. That is where they are paying themselves hundreds of millions of dollars. Here you get now. All this story about landing costs, all this nonsense, right? If they actually want to give you a relief in this instance, right? Number one, that means they will lose money. They will cancel all their projected importation and all of that genuinely. But they are not. They're just making these pronouncements left, right, and center and putting Dangote in the midst of it. But when they put Dangote in the midst of it, right, somehow, they are kind of telling you directly that, if Dangote is going to sell it for this price, we are going to sell it for that so price too. So don't expect anything less. And if they insist that we have to buy from Dangote, or we can all claim to be buying from Dangote, right? And that is why the price of petroleum is going to be this, and that now. There's no reprieve coming your way. None. Anyway, it's been confirmed that Tinubu has landed in Abuja. And I hope we can begin to call him the CIA asset, has landed in Abuja, the druggie. So, your Shege is back. To the people of Edo State, today, the power changed hands, and Okpebolo, APC, Egbekegbe, became the government of Edo State. And it didn't take long before their supposed thugs were unleashed. I'll show you that one. But this is how the event went earlier today.
His Excellency the Governor will take around now to inspect the ground of honor.
Today, you are officially giving me the mandate to preside over our dear state as governor for the next 4 years. We will not betray this confidence you have imposed in me and the deputy governor. The welfare of our citizens is a top priority for us. To achieve this, we shall implement programs carefully outlined in my 5-point agenda, designed to grow a robust economic growth and improve the lives of our people. The deplorable condition of our roads has made it difficult for people to move from one part of the state to another. Our policy to develop road infrastructure is targeted at constructing roads, drainages, and bridges to ease transportation for all. We shall immediately commence work to make the road motorable again. My administration shall support small businesses and market women with soft loans. Our teeming youth population will not be left out. We shall support them to acquire relevant skills. My administration shall immediately swing into action to recruit teachers and build the deplorable classrooms. Tertiary education that my administration shall support the decision of the federal government to uphold the Oba of Benin as the exclusive owner of the returned artifact. Recall that on the 17th of June 2019, 14 members of Edo State House of Assembly were denied inauguration into the 7th Assembly. It was a big blow to our democracy. My administration is setting up a panel of inquiry to investigate the remote cause of this incident.
This division is the first obstacle a leader must overcome in order to deliver the promise.
Oh, Shitiman was there. He's a special guest of honor, right? I think it was last night, before this morning, right? It says something similar. This time he wasn't reading it.
For me, I'm coming as a servant to serve the Edo people. That is what is required of me. And that is what exactly I'm going to do. So very soon, you will see a lot of development coming up in Edo. We are going to employ teachers. We are going to renovate our schools. We are going to... A lot will be happening over time. So with time, you will recognize that a new dawn has happened.
Congratulations to you, Edo people. Talking about a new dawn. To the drivers, as well as commuters in Edo State, they said that Agbero used to be a thing in Edo State until Obaseki waged war against them, and they became a thing of the past. Or talking about new dawn, maybe this is part of the new dawn.
Yes, this is Edo State. Welcome to Agborism once again. You can see them obtaining cars, they are obtaining bus drivers.
Just imagine.
Yes, democracy has ended in Edo State today. See the Agboros that are obtaining drivers, stopping bus drivers on the road on our power as I speak. What a shame. What a shame. A big shame to APC government.
This is not a robbery now.
Yes, sir. Because they don't mind, they don't care. See, they are telling them we are back. This is how it used to be in the Shomole's time. That is back. They are back to that. They are back.
When they found the old bosses,
yes, so they are telling them, yes. So what a shame.
I don't know how they take give these people.
You know, this is the day and time where everyone is a reporter. So whatever is happening here and there, people will capture that and put it on online. That's one of them. So Edo people, you know, congratulations, okay, and hopefully you are going to see a positive difference, so to say. I mean, I don't even know, maybe not prayer or I don't know. So if you have been with us this long, remember, you can still like this broadcast, okay? Like it and share it. Subscribe onto my channel. If you, we don't even know, maybe after this broadcast, YouTube is going to say, how dare you say something about CIA? For the American national security, we are shutting down your channel. But before then, at least still subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, set your notification on, and you won't miss anything. It's always very interesting here. Yeah, it's always very interesting. Okay. So there is a group of other observers on what the situation has become in Nigeria, citing the Edo example. They had a chart, which I want to share with you. Here is Professor, I think call him Professor, you know, Amadi Sam. Please listen to this.
I will start by saying that the assumption here is that our failure is because of the institution itself. That's, you know, we have framed this debate to sort of libel presidentialism, saying that it failed, not that the practice of it failed. So there are three, I'll start with three realisms. First is that institutions matter, and Childa is correct. Structure matters. Again, institutions matter not in the ideal form, but in their real form, how you practice them. There's a difference between an institution defined and an institution in practice. So even though scholars say that presidentialism clearly less costly, in terms of empirics, greater GDP growth, as people operate parliamentary system have greater GDP growth than presidential system. But if you look across the world, you see that we have hybridization. So Israel, South Africa, they are parliamentary presidential. So we should bear that in mind. There are few totally ideal parliamentary and presidential systems. Maybe the US and the UK. France is a mixture. Germany is a mixture. So we shouldn't run away with the idealism that presidential system, parliamentary as well. Now back to the point you raised, which is very important. Now, how do we choose systems? Power is at the heart of institutional change or not, meaning that those who benefit by an institution will have less incentive to change those institutions. But power is not uniform. That means, like I think the keynote speaker made a very important point. There are dimensions of power. And the new thinking is what they call end of power. People like Moses Naiyegun, okay? What does that mean is that power is no longer hierarchical. We don't talk in terms of government, we talk about governance. We talk about network, we talk about influence. So this kind of conversation can create narratives, number one, that are powerful. Can also create narratives that show will. So politicians who probably are wedded to presidentialism and the power it gives will see that parliamentary system actually does not hurt them as much as they think. So there's this idea of why should we change the system if we are beneficial? But if you show that this system actually is not benefiting you as much as you think, you shift the investment of resources and time to protecting that system to allow it change. But ultimately, I think there is what I call social virality, meaning that changes come when it gets to maybe epidemic level. Social change trends get to a point of tipping point where the conversation becomes very hot, empowering, constraining and threatening to people in power. Will this conversation get to a point where the National Assembly members, the presidency, everybody involved will think a second time and say, okay, why don't we transition to a different kind of system, even if it's not wholly presidential? What will determine it is whether the promoters of this system are able to embed it in social realism. The people see it as...
What Alaye Sam is trying to tell you is that things are getting hotter. People have lost interest in the type of government that these criminals have foisted on us, or they are forcing on us to, like they are trying to make perfect, even though they are making it even worse. People have lost interest. And as things goes by, they themselves will realize this. That's why it's postulating that. They will realize it and say, you know what, maybe we should switch to something that is close to what people are asking, away from this presidential, that it is not working. Just like from where we started, where Aregbe Mugbo Baba Kabiru Baba Officer said the system is enriching few people and impoverishing majority. And if something is not done ASAP, there could be a potential, revolution where the people will revolt against known established norm. I am going to, partially agree, but what I won't agree to is the fact that these criminals are the ones who are going to switch. They won't switch. Just like I've said it many times. They will never stop until you stop them. APC, Egbekegbe, is so evil that they will never, ever stop their evil way. As much as it is benefiting them, they will never change until the people revolt and change them. And until then, let them enjoy the ride that makes them feel like they've conquered everyone. Remember that lady that raised the alarm over the invasion of the communities in Sokoto? Yeah, this lady, guess what? She was arrested by the police. They arrested her for embarrassing the governor. They said she is inciting women against the governor for calling out the inefficiency in the incompetency of these rogues that cannot protect the average civilians, women and children that are being violently violated by these terrorists. Yeah? So she was arrested. And then she was bailed. And guess what? Some thugs, political thugs, they kidnapped her. They beat her. They beat the lady that she was unable to walk. Now, she is now living in fear, in hiding. Her family has taken her away from Sokoto. They've taken her away into hiding. They are hiding her now because she spoke a mind against the Lakurawa terrorists. The Lakurawa terrorists, which we now know that they have been in existence for a while. This Lakurawa terrorists from Niger Republic, from Mali, from Libya, they are not Nigerians, but they have been allowed by the Islamic criminals of northern Nigeria, Sokoto to be precise, including the authority, the police. They said about 6 years ago, 2018, when these guys first came to limelight, the Nigerian police, Sokoto chapter, they came out and said, oh, the Lakurawa people are not, the Lakurawa terrorists are not violent. Even though they have guns, but they are not violent, okay? They were there to preach with Madam Fodio's purified Islam, type of Islam. to the point that when the Lakurawa terrorists killed the Nigerian soldiers, the Nigerian army also came out to deny their existence. Today, 6 years after they have been known, in some part of Kerbi, Sokoto, these guys are so prominent that they are the ones settling disputes. Instead of taking your dispute to your emir or to your village head, people are taking their disputes to the Lakurawa heads to settle for them. I'm telling you, because they believe that they are more Islamic than their leaders and the established or existing order. Now, these terrorists right now, even today, we received a report that said they have issued a cease and desist notice to Bello Turji. Now, Bello Turji is another terrorist, but of the Fulani extraction. He is the leader of the Fulani terrorists in Sokoto, Kerbi, Niger, Katsina, Kaduna, and a few other places like that. This guy has vast land that he controls. So the Lakurawa guys have now told him, you need to stop this now. On the order of, Lakurawa, we order you to stop, or else we will wage a war against you. So two terrorists are threatening themselves. But today, there was a gunfire engagement between the Nigerian army and Bello Turji's faction in Sokoto. Bello Turji has been declared wanted. Bello Turji was the one who exposed the supposed Nigerian Minister of Defense, Patawale, Bello Patawale. Now, Bello Patawale is one of the ministers of Tinubu. He is in charge of defense. He is also the guy accused with facts of establishing, funding another set of Fulani terrorists in Zamfara. Now, a former Zamfara governor, a terrorist sponsor, is a minister of defense under the druggy Tinubu. So Bello Turji has been declared wanted for exposing their former sponsor. Because Bello Turji said the reason why Patawale wants him dead was because he no longer listened to Patawale, and Patawale now sponsors another set of terrorists. And these terrorists have been chased away from the mineral-rich areas where they are doing illegal mining in northern Nigeria. And because they are affecting the business of Patawale, illegal mining in northern Nigeria, so Patawale is now using the instrument of states to chase down Bello Turji. So Bello Turji is asking Tinubu to sack him and get him investigated. And it's not just the only person who said it. The successors to Patawale in Zamfara, the current governor of Zamfara state, said they have arrested some terrorists, Fulani terrorists in Zamfara. And surprisingly, order from above, order from Abuja, ordered them to be released. That they couldn't even try them before they got released. So that Bello Turji is now declared wanted by the Minister of Defense. So today, his own group, Nigerian Army, they clashed in Sokoto, and that clash led, according to the Nigerian Army, it led to the death of about 7 members of Bello Turji's group. But Bello Turji escaped. According to them, they now arrested 12 fighters of Bello Turji and a bag of Igbo. They displayed it. If you go to Twitter right now, you will see the images of the arrested fighters, Bello Turji's fighters. They didn't go there to fight the Lakurawa. The Lakurawas are there as we speak. Even though the Lakurawa terrorists killed 15 people in Kerbi 2 days ago. Yeah, they did. Nigeria is so messed up, right? So this lady who raised the alarm is now hiding for her life. Because the man on the left is the governor of Sokoto State, APC, Egbekegbe. The lady on the right is a lady who exposed the terrorism that they have been suffering since this Lakurawa started acting and moving mad in Sokoto. The lady got arrested for embarrassing the man on the left, the governor, who failed to protect her, right? Now, the lady got released on bail only for the supposed political thugs loyal to that man on the left to go after her. They beat her. They nearly crippled her. That is the story. So if there's anything to be worried about, it should be the fact that if this guy, Kash Patel, which is being touted to be the next CIA director, Donald Trump's CIA director, right? The way I am looking at the guy, somebody said that the guy looked like a Sweden mad before. And another people, Americans are crazy, right? So Americans are like, maybe that's the reason why Donald Trump is bringing him as the CIA director. So that all these Democrat-appointed CIA, DOJ, and all this FBI stuff, right? Maybe when they have this kind of a person, all of us should actually be, not all of us, maybe the likes of Tinubu and co. should be worried. Okay? It's crazy. His name is Kash Patel. So if he becomes the CIA director, I don't know if we would, I don't know. I'll keep my opinion to myself at this point, okay? So our time is up. And listen, if you have been with me all evening and you have to go now because we are going to open the line, opening the line where everybody can contribute. You can call in, you know, add your own voice to this, you know, your own perspective as well to this entire conversation. I've said a lot of things this evening, and I don't know which of them is going to interest you. But we had a lot of us in tonight. For some reason, we're over 30,000 of us on YouTube earlier, but it was only about 600 or 700 of us who have actually paid their offering. Listen, if you have to go, like this broadcast, there's no reason why we can't have more than 1,500 of us at least who have sort of liked the broadcast. So I'm asking you to do that now if you have to go. So also, our phone-in segment is sponsored by the Ya Rasulallah Digital. You've heard this many times, okay? And I've told you I will have to keep, you know, showing you this because for the next, for the next 2-3 weeks, they have paid for our phone-in session. Now, this is for those of us who are looking for, you know, a possible alternative source of income to whatever we are doing right now. Even if you are a retiree that would like to, learn a new thing, learn a new trade, or learn a new business, so to say, looking for your own financial freedom and all that, try and scan this, you know, this QR code on your screen. Okay, it is going to take you straight to the website of our sponsor for this next segment. Okay, you can ask questions and all that, but if you really want to, you know, try it out, okay, what happens is that you will need $149 to sign up. Again, this is not an MMM, get rich quick sort of a scheme, not a pyramid scheme. It's for those who want to learn new thing, new trade. You'll be taught, you'll be trained, okay, and then you can possibly set up your own personal online digital business, so to say. Yeah. So if you want to, check it out. All you have to do is just bring out your phone, turn on the camera of your phone in front of your TV, in front of your other phone that you are using right now, and scan this QR code, okay? And you may be thanking me later as well. I'm going to be back in a minute or two, and then I will take calls. If you want to be part of this, the number is right there, scrolling on your screen. It is only WhatsApp call. Don't try to call it directly. You won't get through. I will be back.
La
Thank you. Now that in addition, okay, no, you're not going to get discounts. All right. If you decided to sign up, it will cost you $149 to sign up. Okay. Now, when you sign up, that's when they're going to send you all the package that you need to know. You must be really ready to do all the study, the practice, and all that stuff. Okay. Now, that $149 is refundable. If you change your mind that, no, I don't think this is for me, or I am not financially stable enough to actually really go fully into this, you can cancel this, okay, and get your money back within 30 days. Anything above 30 days, you won't get your money back. Oh. So if you change your mind, you will get your money back, the full money, $149. All right. Then after, if you feel like, no, this is for me, I'm going further, I am putting my own credibility on the line there, but you have to do the work too. You are not giving your money to somebody who is going to make you richer. No, 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 no. It's like subscribing to a training, right? Which indeed could be your pathway to financial freedom. So to say, check it out, right? And if you feel like it's not for you, okay, sure, cancel it. And you will get your every penny back. And it doesn't matter where you are in the whole world. It's called digital. It's online, right? Brilliant. So, African Wahala, thank you very much for your efforts. I have my own personal stuff to ask you to do for me as well. You see, we have a backup channel. First thing first, I have a caller on the line. I am going to ask my caller to hang in there for me for a second, okay? Number one, we have a backup channel, right? It is called MaiyegunsDiary Premium. Check the comments, especially on Facebook, on YouTube. You can help me subscribe to that, okay? It's important. And secondly, you can also support my channel. Oh, Maiyegun, how can we support you? There is a link, a PayPal link on the screen. Use that if you can. The other one is buy me a coffee. Yeah, you can buy me a coffee. A cup of coffee is $5, okay? Now, it's so easy as well. It's a QR code. If you bring out your phone and you scan this this QR code on your screen, right? You can buy me a coffee, support my channel and support what I do here, all right? And others, you can just like the broadcast. That is the easiest one you can do for me. I've always been very grateful, okay? Like the broadcast, share it. If this is your first time on MaiyegunsDiary Politico, then subscribe to my channel. You won't miss anything, right? All of these are the way you can support Maiyegun. Everyone else is a member of the Temple of Truth. Now, let's take our first call this evening. Hello there.
Hello, Baba Maiyegun himself, the general.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. This is Wilson again from Italy.
Wilson, Baba. How is it hello today?
Yeah, we thank God. The weather is becoming cold now. So we
It's
thank
like a
God.
fog everywhere.
Yes. The weather is cold. It's cold. It's becoming cold now. No, but it's not raining. It's not raining, but
Not
it's
ready yet, okay? It's becoming
much
freezing
better.
and freezing cold. Get ready for winter.
Yes. Yes. So with the fight at the Naya border, I think that is why the cold is even getting more colder. Because of the fight, because of what they are throwing there. Because that thing is not just wood, na chemical. Na end of the go that side, though. All these things now wetin we dey pray may not happen to Nigeria, because some of all these people we are claiming they are big man, where we know what all of them are doing. Nigerian people, these your leaders are the most wicked people I've ever seen in my life. Whether you are reading Bible, I don't understand. Somebody will claim that he's a Christ-like and he's wicked to the next person, even praying that the way my neighbor will come and beg food in my hand. Haba, which kind of pray when they pray? Can't we be civilized? The people we meet even in Europe, all of them are traveling, coming here. They see how these white people are living. Can't you live in peace with your brother? Even those ones, engineering, all this thing. Okay, I thank God. Did you know my prayer, Maiyegun, since? Do you know my prayer? I said, even if I have a way to campaign for Trump, I will do that. I will do it 1,000,000 times because the man deserves to come on board. Now, all these shenanigans, Tinubu and the Obama and the Biden, they hide everything. Put Nigeria in abject poverty.
See?
Abject poverty. Now they put Nigerians turn to beggars. Not only the Yorubas, not only the Northerners, all Nigerians turn to beggars.
There's no one that is spared. They didn't spare. Nobody is spared.
Nobody now. Nobody. His cronies are becoming king overnight. His cronies are becoming directors everywhere. They are becoming directors. Do you know the funniest part? That there's nothing to steal again. That's why they are going to borrowing. There's nothing to steal. Please, Maiyegun, don't give these people courage that there's anything there to even eat. There's nothing. Do you know the biggest problem Nigeria have? We have biggest problem of hunger. There is no food in Nigeria. There is no food in Nigeria. This is a systematic damaging of Nigeria. And I didn't plan them. Do you see Bigot? That's why I pray. I say, do you know why I say, make Donald Trump win? So that thing Bigot plan for Nigeria will never happen. To come and start selling the GMO food, people will not know. They will think they are doing. You want to wicked one person. You know Nigeria, make wicked Igbo people. You are wickeding yourself because if they bring the food, you are the same. Even if you don't eat it, you are eating from America. Even if you are eating from America, one day your cousins, your people will still eat it and die. Those people you can't protect because I never see who is in power and protect everybody that he knows. If a president they protect everybody, we know there won't be problem now. There won't be problem. But because he can't protect everybody, that's why there's a problem. So if you think because you are not touched today, because what is happening, you are not touched, you are not being touched. Think about the people around you. Think about those ones you want to slave, you want to put into slave. Maiyegun, I thank you for this thing you are reminding us. I thank you for this thing you are reminding us. David Hunde, if you are there, you people should go and put in for that Tinubu case to come out. Let the world see. There is nothing to hide. We must see these things. Even if they didn't do it, some people are angry. Like me, I'm angry about what is happening in Nigeria. I'm not happy with what is happening in Nigeria. No day. Do you know sometimes if I start watching you, what you are saying, sometimes I get broken, I just off it. I get angry. I will be tensed up. What I will be asking myself, why are these people are so wicked like this? Can they change? Can these people change? What kind of manipulation are they doing? What kind of manipulation? Even the churches, they are not helping. Nobody is helping in Nigeria. Everybody want to make it. You want to kill somebody to survive. The people who are importing fake drug are importing fake. The people are importing fake food are importing. The people would go to our border is porous. They are doing all
actually use also like shorting the naira to devalue it, to further devalue the effort of hardworking people. It's mental. Listen. Let me take another one. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for calling in.
Thank you. God bless
you. Stay safe.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
I have another caller. A great way we can do it chap, okay? And make sure that a lot of people have a chance of contributing this evening, okay? Here is another. Hello.
Oh, Biafra, oh, hello, Dudu.
Oh, El Biafra. Bro, it's been a while. How are you?
I'm good, Maiyegun. I've just been busy, we're out here working, trying to support people back back home in the zoo, left and right. But we're here, I get a little frustrated. I'm not able to watch you live. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, today's show is phenomenal because you touched on a lot of key things that people forget to see or they're not able comprehend or think, because they've kept them in a situation where they're boxed in, unable to think critically. So they use church and everything else to just keep everybody down and distracted, while the puppet masters are controlling the puppets, which is their so-called leaders. They all have CIA ties from the beginning to the end. They're all from Obasanjo, all of them. They all have CIA. They're all CIA assets, more or less. But
this
what you
particular
just
one
touched,
seems to have been like more evil in a way that we've never seen before, man. This is
yes, it's all by design. This is what they want. They have to keep everybody down. They cannot allow any African nation to succeed, and they will not allow it. And anything they can do, they'll kill. Just like with Gaddafi, they tried everything to kill him. So many times, and they finally got him because of, but everybody was saying, oh, Gaddafi was bad. People turned on him. No, it was a CIA operation, because Libya was the most prosperous country in Africa, and they were afraid of it spreading, with the gold dinar being the standardized currency.
Yep.
Which would have made it much powerful. Africa would have been much powerful and be in a better position to control the economy, and the economy will collapse. So that's what's happening now. When you have BRICS, BRICS is another threatening thing. They'll try anything to bring BRICS down, or they'll try to infiltrate some of these countries to control them and keep the government from partaking in BRICS. So this is all inside thing. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times. Okay, I like Donald Trump because of a lot of things that he speaks that I can relate to. He speaks my language, but let's not get it twisted. He has donors. He has supporters of people of interest. So for us thinking that he may release some of the CIA, how can I say, cables to now be able to see what Tinubu has been up to, I highly doubt it, because there's a lot that is in play. And he, like he said many times before Trump, he had friends that have gone to Nigeria poor and came back rich. So we must keep that in mind. That
we must manage our expectation and all that.
Exactly.
When it comes to this America that. That's why I always put it as I hope and I really do wish. It's because we all know that what comes first is America's interest, and it doesn't matter who is there. True.
Absolutely. And then some of the people now that he's planning to put in his cabinet, a lot of them are war hawks, which are warmongers. They love war, and I'm very disappointed because I thought you were going the other way, but it seems like
that's because that's one of the things that his supporters, his base, have always been like up against.
Yes, that's why I've not been happy for the past couple of days, because some of the people that are pointing right now, they're actually going to work against them if care is not taken. So it's for us to see what happens.
Okay.
Exactly. So people, let's just not blindly follow these people. Yes, he has a good heart, but it's the people in the circle that will determine what happens. If he gives orders, they may disobey and do the other another thing. So for us to get our freedom, sorry for holding you up too long. For us to get our freedom, we have to be the ones to fight. Yes. All hell Biafra, all hell Oduduwa.
All hail Biafra, all hail Oduduwa. Stay safe, bro. Okay, you have a very good one. Here is another caller, and I believe it is the Prince Jacob.
Yes, so my praise day here, bro. Yeah, my good general.
The Prince
Jacob,
representing
IPOB for life, Baba.
That's him. How are you?
Well done, well done. I'm fine, and you?
I'm very well, man. Thank you so much. Please.
Yeah, respect to Temple of Truth. I greet everyone in the house.
Greet you too.
Baba, tonight you hot extra. This one a Parador extra.
You get? Because it may be the last one, right? It may be the last one before they will come back and say, "How dare you talk like that?" And you know what I mean. So that at least I will be satisfied that I did my best. I did justice to the subject.
You poured it out. Yes, I like that.
Thank you very much. I like that. Please.
Well done, Baba.
Thank you.
Yes, irreparable damages. Now we still there on top. You know, you see, Baba, I don't know whether they do others the way they do me. You see, when I they
And what
see
did they
this
do you?
guy, when I they see this irreparable damages on TV like this, I they see and get a parade. I go to wonder, say, waiting hit Nigeria, waiting happen to Nigeria. You understand? This one is more than bondage. I don't even see him as I just dey see her like one kind talk the waka. I don't dey see her like president. I don't know whether they do others the way they do me. You understand? Because I cannot imagine
Like a
the
hardened
kind of
criminal, somebody will be like a Gulubu criminal. That if they actually tell us who him be, go, a lot of people will be like, what? How come we didn't know this?
Baba, make I tell you, if you see that country, where that country go finally come down like 25-story building where no get a foundation, we go know wetin happen. You know, so on his way to the top, to the pinnacle, Funshaw William was brought down. You understand? We go still that we go still know time go come, we go still know wetin happen that side. Maiyegun, we thank God that you see it will not everything they cannot hide it forever. You see, there's nothing hidden under the sun. That thing that he went to before election went to prevent that people will not see those evil that happen. You know now that Trump is there now. It's coming out gradually. This man sponsored the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu for him to become president. That's why he's not talking anything about Nnamdi Kanu. But I'm telling you, Maiyegun, you see, Tinubu is gonna crash with it. It's gonna be the greatest disgrace that the world have ever seen. I'm telling you, that's the way I'm looking at it, and it's gonna happen. You know, because they cannot, nobody they can't manage this thing that we are seeing. This kind of destruction,
He
this kind of
actually
suffer.
argued it in America that they must not release his file, that it's going to cause an irreparable damages to him. And the people were like, what do you mean? Like, what irreparable damages? Is there something that we should share you get?
That's so now, Baba. That's why I started it by saying irreparable damages, so that people go still remember. You see, Baba, secondly is about this bondage. Another bondage is in Nigeria is this Dangote. Every time they are in the news, why must it be one man, one Fulani man that we own refinery in Nigeria? The whole refinery of a country is not working. The whole country is at mercy of one Fulani man. Why must it be like that? We have been talking about this monopoly. Now, the only thing that makes the country to move in every area is only one Fulani man, Dangote, that is controlling it. And Nigeria is playing with the life of the citizens. They are going to buy from him. Him is going to buy from Nigeria. How much they are going to sell in Naira. You know, Dangote is another bondage on the whole Nigeria. Until Nigeria understand what they happen to them. Because you see this one where they talk say Kalawash, all this new terrorists, Kakurawas, I waiting there. I know their name. Their name no they grip pronounce. Maiyegun, you know say they used to tell us here, say everything that happen for Nigeria is deliberate. There's nothing that happen.
It's all intentional. Nothing they happen by coincidence or accident.
Maiyegun, something is cooking. Something very, very bad is cooking. And people that are thinking of to make Nigeria work, they go take their head carry out. That the TY Danjuma say, go and defend your own territory. If you are waiting for Nigerian army, Nigerian police to defend you, you will all die one by one. How they want to explain it to some foolish people that think that one Nigeria, we're going to make Nigeria work. That man, the Kanu is not doing it the way that he should do it. Is it this game that they are playing with the people's life? That is what you will join them. If you can't beat them, you join them to be destroying people's life. That is the best. That man, they kind of don't know how the way to do it. But at the end of the day, everything will come to clear way for everybody eye.
Come to the open. Prince.
Yes, everybody eye will clear.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Baba.
Okay. Let me take another one as well. We have here Peter, I believe. Hello.
Hello, my general.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Let me turn down my volume. What's going on?
How's it going, man?
Fine. This is Mr. Z here.
That's Mr. Z from
Lagos.
As usual. How is Lagos this evening?
Lagos just day hot, man. Nothing they happen for here, man. Nothing they happen.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Okay, please.
Yes, so Emma Binu, but I want to say something there.
Why?
I don't finally agree to this. Say, Yoruba people get the highest tax. What Tinubu is doing to the whole country, where everybody no fit talk. Even people that are hungry, some of his loyalists that are actually hungry, their businesses are dying. They are still in support of him. I don't know what kind of juju that one is. We cannot go. We cannot even walk out and protest. Media cannot see what is happening. Look at this CIA file that's revelation that just came out today. Just watch how quiet tomorrow. No media house will carry it.
You get?
Do you know how dangerous this is?
They will try as we are here now. This evening, they are doing their WhatsApp meeting. Tomorrow, you go they hear the pastors, all of them. They go still talk about to obey this, obey that, and all of that to keep this whole thing like inconsequential. No media house will deliberate on it. None of them.
And it is something of national security to us. This man can be giving those
is an asset and is in the open.
He can be giving them 5 vessels every week of our oil to be taken at a certain that kind of ridiculous prices.
Nobody will question her, even if it comes to the open.
Those kind of ridiculous prices Niger people used to buy. What did they call it? I've forgotten that the natural resource that they used to sell to France. That ridiculous kind of price, like 1/10 of the value.
I will remember, Sha. You get the one they always use for they said it's used for atomic reactor and all of that stuff.
Beautiful, yes. Ridiculous price. He might have given them that kind of transaction. I'll give you 5 vessels at so price, pay it into my so account, his own personal asset. I hear that Aso Rock itself is a very dark place. Very, very dark place. And when you enter there as a spiritual person, say, you go not say something did this place where you're not supposed to.
We don't normal.
We don't normal. Even that Baba will die, that's Lagbaja. I hear it's part of the thing we kill them. I'll just be quiet because I don't have this allegedly what part of that darkness that hurts him. You don't put your hand in it. Nonsense. All those people still say one Nigeria. So they are looking at one Nigeria now and they are prepared to go to another election where Mahmoud is still in charge. Sure, then Mahmoud is still in charge. You saw what happened in Edo. Mahmoud has said he has shown us for Edo this week, and you're still going to see magic happen this week, and you're still waiting for another election. Just the jazz I'm telling you about. Everybody's blindfolded. Suffering in the land here in Lagos and Maiyegun. Suffering is unbearable. Suffering is unbearable.
Like it is so physical that nobody feel hide down.
There you go. People that are doing restaurant don't have lights. So food stuff that you bought, you must put it in the freezer and you must run generator. How much are you going to charge people to eat? That generator, the price of petrol. That's basically what I was going to. The price of petrol to run that generator overnight will be at least 15,000 just overnight.
Every day.
Every day, no light. Then your customers come, they can't be sweating to eat in a decent restaurant. I don't know if I told you when I went to my Baba's place the other day. He said they don't have light for 10 days. That 10 days he has bought petrol worth 180,000 naira. The man that comes to do a job for him comes every day that he has not been able to pay his job for his worker's salary in the month. 10 days have gone, 180,000. How much is he barbing hair and his girl splitting hair? But business must continue. That's what they go cost. All of us go cost us. Nobody can do anything. Why you go let somebody else call,
Thank
Jared?
you so much, Mr. Zio. You've done well. Thank you. Here, I know that we have a lot of suffering and smiling people out there, especially those ones who I don't think it's just to start with. Okay, number one, majority of our people are very selfish. I'm talking about real selfishness. Some are hoping that they will likely still benefit. They are waiting. Okay. So with the hope that it will kind of reach them one day, someday. And, they cannot truncate that patience. So the patience is that maybe one day they will come around and share money or give them something. That's why a lot of them will not really go out there and condemn him. I don't think it's just. It is mostly selfishness. Just know that a lot of people that are suffering, they have other people that they are suffering and they are not really going out there to fight. Other people are paying their bills. But when those who are paying their bills also becomes very poor, that they can't pay them anymore, we'll see how everybody is going to cope. There are still those of you in Nigeria who are still collecting money from abroad. People are still offsetting your bills. So you will complain, but somebody is going to still give you money. When those people are unable to give you money from abroad anymore, you will see Venezuela will be a child's play. This is Prince Adebayo from Sweden. The Prince.
Hey, my king.
The Prince.
My king.
How are you this
evening? You're too much. My king, I'm good. My king. Yesterday I was saying something about the devil. And today you just exposed that devil again. And then I understand that, okay, you're on point, You see, this anybody in the whole of that country that is coming to bring change, that does not recognize the fact that we are fighting not just local traitors and saboteurs, but the foreign overlords, is not ready to fight the problem. Baba, you have exposed everything today. There's something I just want us to know. The solution lies in three places. One, as we are fighting to redeem our country or our space. I will not say our country because the name itself is not our own
country, because inside it is our own nations. Remember,
our own nations, exactly.
Our nations are trapped inside this fake.
Are trapped inside this contraption. Yes, exactly.
So there's no way we can say it's not our country per se. We are trapped in our nations. Yes. Our different nations are trapped within.
Are trapped inside. Yes. Thank you.
God bless
so as we are fighting to free ourselves from this shackle, we must understand that the people we are fighting are not just the ones we are seeing, but the ones outside whose interest is holding us in this shackle. Now, some people are saying Donald Trump has come and then he might likely expose who Tinubu is. But let us not forget that no matter who comes in, it is not for justice for the world. No matter who comes in America, is there for the interest of America. So if it is in their interest not to expose Tinubu, but they will keep it quiet. You understand? Because Donald Trump, yes, he has a chip on his shoulder. He has some axe to grind with the intelligence. Yeah, with the establishment. Yes. But don't also forget that he also has a commitment, because the reason why they voted him this time around was because of what he did before, which is he improved the lot of the common man economically, especially the black people.
Yep.
They saw the statistics. So if keeping Nigeria down will improve the economy, will leave us there.
Because same guy actually collected nearly 500 million from Bokwari.
But Tukano Jet.
And he sold them weapons and all that stuff, despite Buhari's record.
Yes.
So yeah, I kind of agree with you in that regard.
Yes. But you know, the person who's in charge of that case now, that judge, is a Democrat. He's a Democrat. But the chance we have is, if the guy brings his makes his judgment, they can still file an appeal, and the appeal might fall in the laps of a Republican judge, because Donald Trump is now in charge, and his Congress, both lower and upper house, they are dominated by
The Republicans now.
Republicans. Yeah, so a lot of twists might happen, but still we don't know, because this CIA.
You know, another thing too, Prince. Another thing that we should also be concerned about is that even when they release all of this, right, on our part, are we actually ready to use that and react?
But that's where I'm going to.
Things have been exposed about this man. There are people just kind
that's where I'm going to.
So look
exactly. That's where I'm going to.
Yeah.
Yes. That's where I'm going to. Now, who are the people that will react? That the reaction will make sense to the international community. Because not just reaction now, but who are the people who are going to react? It is now that we are supposed to be forming those coalitions of the who is who in the different nations in that trap. That coalition must be formed now before Trump solidifies his base. They know who to listen to. Those coalitions are the people who are going to lobby. And then when you are lobbying, you must have one thing. That's the exposure you just made today. When you are lobbying, you must have one thing in mind. Otherwise, you will enter into the same trap that Mandela entered. You know that Mandela was like Nnamdi Kanu before he entered. But when he came outside, it was a different Mandela. He now negotiated a peace that gave most of the resources, 80% of the resources to the Oppenheimers, and you see, they are still fighting that today. Yeah. But he brought democracy. And that is what's going to happen to Nnamdi Kanu. He cannot come out the same. Otherwise, he will get here. Somebody that Mandela was there 27 years, won't send anybody. They no send that. You understand me? The same thing. We just pray. But the same thing, as Nnamdi Kanu enter with all his energy, he will come out in a negotiated term. Otherwise, I want Europe at America, they don't send anybody. That man can get there for 100 years. You understand? So as we are negotiating now, we should understand that we must give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Otherwise, you cannot free yourself from this contraption. That means all their investment, they will hold it.
It's always about their interest, you mean?
It's always about their interest, Baba. So today you just expose that thing, and please, I want you to be knocking it on the head of anybody that wants change in Nigeria. So remember, the problem is not local. If it is locally, one President will decide who will lead us. But the problem is international. But another way, but that one will cause war and continue. You know your malaria when they get treatment like the Congo way. Now, if we go carry our hand now, put for the hand of Russia now, come inside. They go fight that world war for inside Nigeria. And it will be permanent. Congo has been in it for how many years now? You never stop.
Very much, Baba. Let me take a look again as usual, okay? So we do it chap, and see as many contributions as possible. Thank you.
Okay, Baba.
Stay safe, man. That's Prince Adebayo there from Sweden. And I think we have the first lady caller this evening. And here we have Charm. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, Maiyegun.
Oh, good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I just had to call you because today's podcast was a banger. Honestly, I feel like if there are people still out there deluded that we have a country, you see, after today's exposition that you made, there shouldn't be a shadow of a doubt in your heart and in your mind. We don't have a country. Nigeria is not a real place, right?
It's becoming clearer.
You talk, and what is also clear now is how long they have been playing us. You know, they've played our parents, they played us, and they want to continue to play us in perpetuity. That's what I see here. You see, what's his name? Tinubu was a long game. Tinubu was somebody that they caught and they decided to use.
Yep.
He wasn't into politics. The politics was the cover that they gave to him. They already had like people who knew what was up in Nigeria. So him going into Nadeco was a pathway into the politics of the country.
It was like a long game, you mean? Yeah. This guy had no real life business. He has no real life job per se, but he was funding Nadeco with millions of dollars, Baba.
Very, very good. So that's your number one point. Funding Nadeco with lots of money. Where is he getting that money? From the CIA. Because they know what works in that stupid country. They know that money talks, bullshit works. And that is exactly what they did. Right? And then, like I said, they played the long game. They waited for this idiot man to become president. And look at us today. Look at Nigeria today. A pound, $1 is to what? Is what? Almost 1,500 naira. Within a span of 18 months.
1,740 naira.
1,740 naira. And then you have to think, when they're talking about things like it will go against the national security of their country, you have to think deep. Something that will affect the national security of a whole country like America, with all its intelligence, with all its security, with everything. There's more to that. There's something that man has done and has been doing. And I bet you, the deaths of many politicians, Tinubu knows about it. And I'm 100% sure that the CIA, part of everything that is there that is redacted, right? All of that information links Tinubu to a lot of things, which is detrimental to them, because then it shows that they play a part in countries, in destabilizing countries. A lot of Americans are clueless. When I say clueless, ignorant, that is complete, about what their government is doing in other countries. They sit in their comfortable houses.
But they never actually really even know how it works.
They don't know how it works, and they don't care. All they know is that what the mainstream media, what Hollywood tries to narrate for them. Oh, black people are ignorant. They can't manage their resources. They can't do this. But they never tell them the spanner in the works that their government keeps throwing into these countries. They never tell them that these people are not in complete control of their own resources. Is it not even clear now that we don't even have a so-called street democracy? That these politicians have always been in their pocket? And like some of the people in on the comment section, right? That said that even back to Obasanjo, I don't believe that we've had clean politicians for the longest time. And that is why they never wanted a military, in African countries. Because democracy, as far as I'm concerned, democracy, the way it has been sold to us, democracy, the way we have planned it, is a weapon that has been fashioned and used against us time and time again. Because these politicians they're not clean. They have a lot of compromise on them.
Man. They are
sellouts. And people like Tinubu, right? When you get close to him, you don't know what compromise he will. Maybe you don't even have the intention of doing something negative or bad. But because we are within that circle, before you know it, you've done something. They have compromise and you can't do anything. You have to bend to their will.
Yeah, you have to do it. You have to force your hand.
You have to do
it. This for us.
Exactly. They force your hand. You have to do it. It is clear now. This democracy, whatever it is, democracy that has been sold to us, religion that has been sold to us, everything to keep us comatose, to keep us weak, to keep us, not being able to rise up, for goodness sake. Look at the truth that you shared today. Why are we hearing it from MaiyegunsDiary's Politico? Why is it not in the Arise News? Why is it not everywhere? Saying that we have an asset in the highest seat in the office in a country like Nigeria.
That the American CIA is arguing in court that they will not allow his file to be released. Because if they release his file, it's going to affect the American national security. What?
It's going to affect the American national security. Nigeria's economy be damned. The over 200 million people in Nigeria be damned. The poverty, impoverished people, all of you can swim in that thing that we want you to swim in. We don't care. But our national security, our own self-interest, Maiyegun, this world is not balanced. It's not balanced at all. And anybody that is out there, I think we've been saying it for the longest time. I don't know about Trump, because I've told you, right, that at the end of the day, make America great again. We don't really understand what it takes to make America great. If it takes it being on the back of African countries. That is what he's going to do. That is what he wants to deliver to the American people. That America, making America great again, off of the backs of Africans. You know, Maiyegun, we are still in slavery. I hope it's clear to everybody now. We are still in bondage. We have never been free. If the so-called democracy was just always a tool to enslave
people
us.
think we are actually we are there just like a whining babies that, you know, we should hold our leaders responsible. We should do this and that. How do you hold them responsible when these external influences, that person, I mean, how do you hold criminals responsible when the entire system has been compromised, right, by the external forces influence? That even if the people decided that they want to kind of rise, right, you are using all the instruments within you at your disposal to further suppress them, hoodwink them,
further suppress
mislead them.
To continue to mislead them. You see this Lagbaja man that died. I was when did he die? And I was saying that this man wasn't sick. There was something
no record of him being
not
sick.
right going on in that place. Again, it pointed to him. If he was eliminated, it points to the fact that there's intelligence. And if there's intelligence, the intelligence is not coming from Nigeria. It's coming from an external source. Again, we have external influence out there. In fact, everything is out there to tell us. And then you have this Lakurawa people or whatever you call them.
Lakurawa terrorists.
All of a sudden, they said they've been there for 6 years, but now they are more visible. Something is going on. Two things. Either the fact that Trump is now in office, it has become a problem, and they need to accelerate whatever plan that they've had hatched, prior to him actually ascending into office in January. So I don't know what kind of next couple of weeks is going to look like. Or I feel like everything has to do with resources. There's something they found in all of those places that is
charm.
Anyway, because my mind is just working, but there's a lot going on, and we just need to be very aware and very careful. Now, other people
ignorance is no longer an excuse. People should know that. Thank you so much. Let me take another one. Okay, here we have one name. That must be our own Osit. Are you there? Okay. Sorry about that. If your line is acting up, I hope you are able to get back in again. Hopefully. Here. Hello.
Wonderful.
One name.
Wonderful.
How are you, sir?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, I bet this is never going to pass you by without you kind of like, no, I'm going to have to call in again.
I have to call in.
Thank you so much, please.
Congratulations on the good job and the advancement.
Oh, thank you very much for the support too.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to talk about the reason we have to have what is called self-belief. This so-called white people, I am sorry to say, Trump is inclusive. They don't have any business with us. They don't want you to be good. Let's forget about he won the election. It doesn't mean that it is the effect, the good effect, whatever anybody is thinking.
It could be a good sign for us somehow.
That is a good sign for us. That's the businessman who always says that he's a deal maker. When you're a businessman, you are clouded with money, and everybody that is around him are all business moguls. What do they need from Africa? They need only one thing from Africa:
exploitation as possible,
as much as exploitation as ever. So I don't want us to live in delusion. God knows my heart. I don't want us to relax. It's just like when we are saying, oh, we are thinking, oh, we are praying the military can come in. It will all go back to square one. It's a deal. And you wouldn't tell me, you yourself, all of us, we know that Tinubu is a good deal maker as well.
That's right.
We know that he's a very, very
awkward, good deal maker.
Good criminal in that regard. He
That's
said
a
it,
good
whatever money
criminal.
cannot buy, more money will buy it.
And you will bear me witness, you've lived among white people. Even the white people that you live among, they are even better than the white people in America. They all respect money.
No doubt.
If they can get something out of you, they are good at it.
They are fine.
If Trump is going to come against Democrats, he's not coming against Democrats personally. He's only coming against the business they do to put his own business in line as well.
Replace.
So I need us to wake up. This is our own call. I keep saying it. It's our own fight. If we think that he is going to mess these people up, these Nigerian criminals up, these Nigerian criminals will do deal with them. That's the way it is. The reason they scramble for Africa.
Either way, we are toast.
Yes. The scramble for Africa is not because of the humanity that exists in Africa. The scramble for Africa is because of what they need to improve their lifestyle. Everything is right there in Africa. So that is the reason when they talk about Africa, it is only that we ourselves has not been able to take advantage of what we do have. I wrote it somewhere on X the other day, on Instagram.
Right.
When you look at the past 10 years, for example, the people that accepted that they have died and they are not afraid of dying have made progress than any other part of Africa when it comes to infrastructure. And that is Mali, that is Burkina Faso, that's Niger Republic.
Tell me about
if you look at what they've been able to do with the little time those guys have been in power, you will know there's something that is called change, a positive change. It might not be a total change, but it is a positive change in the right direction. So what they are going to do with us is deal. And we will be the bargaining chip. So it is left for us to know that it's our own time to stand our own ground. This fight is for us. It's not for anybody. American first is not Donald Trump that used it first. Make America great again is not Donald Trump that used it first. Make America great again was Ronald Reagan. So I need people to understand all this consciousness that people are jubilating. Yeah, Africa will be good. Africa will be good.
And making America great is not make Africa great again. No, it's
American great.
America first means American first, not African first.
Not African first. So I need people to be very conscious of what they wish for, what they want. All these things, the Democrats, their values,
I'm just kind of curious to what the disruption could do. I'm talking about the disruption in whatever these guys have planted in Africa to start with, okay? Is disruption of the whole thing could be a window for us where everybody who is conscious enough, right?
No doubt, my brother.
Take advantage of before they replace them and continue the whole scheme again. I mean, there could be a window somewhere,
No doubt about it. There is a window. It is left for us to recognize that window so that we can penetrate
it. Because even if they release all the files, are we not? The majority of us not just going to pretend that we don't see it?
Yes.
Are we not going to pretend? Are we conscious enough that even the ones they've released so far, what did we do with them?
Yes, I asked somebody, redacting that name, you know that it's Tinubu's name that is there. Didn't you know what did we do with it? So these are the questions that we ask ourselves. So what they try to do, the deals that they do is try to have compromise. They don't want the nice person who they don't have a compromise on. They don't want that person there. They always need somebody who they have compromise on so that they can do their biddings. So so that person can do their biddings. So it is our fight. Until we keep recognizing that is our fight, that is when we can react positively. If not that, we'll be somewhere in our conference there and we'll be shouting, oh, this person will do this for us, this person will do this for us, and they will never do anything for us.
Sita, thank you very much. Okay. You have a very wonderful, evening. Here is another caller on the line. Hello there.
Hello, Maiyegun Baba.
Baba, how are you this
evening? From Canada again.
Grand. How are you doing, sir?
How are you? I'm well, I'm well. Two things.
Please.
I want to open Nigerians that are listening to a different perspective to the whole thing. Now we have established that Tinubu is American asset. That we know before.
Yes, until now.
But it's going to be now that they confirm it in anticipation of a con man that just won an election in the US. Let me tell you this impact.
Tell us.
From now that Tinubu is an asset of America, Nigeria should get ready. It's going to be a new dimension of deals because Tinubu cannot say no.
Actually exploit it rather than
it's going to be worse. Trump is ready. America is broke. Trump will look for money from anywhere. He doesn't care. They know you cannot win. Nigerians will never do anything about it. That's why they release it about now. They know us well. America is not interested in our problem. For those who are waiting, oh, Trump, no. It's all about interest. Now that they have an asset in the biggest stupid economy in Africa, wait for the impact from the moment Trump takes over. Trump will dominate our president and he will take whatever that is takeable out of Nigeria. So our now the thing does start.
Tinubu, as long as he is president and nobody's challenging his human rights abuses, his corruption, and the rest of that, they can take whatever they want.
He's already getting ready for 2027, and Trump will make it happen for him as long as he can play ball. Trump is equal to Tinubu in everything. He's a con man too, you know. So the deal will be. Nigerians will suffer for the whole thing. Now on the Lukarawa thing, that is the way of the future. The North has always been the problem of our nation. Right from the population, the North thrive in crisis. They use crisis to negotiate everything. From Maitasine, there's always one uprising or the other. If the North that hold every position in Nigeria for such a long time, they are still referred to as the poverty, all the indices that give quality of life is still in the negative in their region. And the children, those that they are exploiting, they never wake up once to face their leader. They feed on the whole of the nation. The Lukarawa is just a positioning of what is going to happen in future. If Tinubu, whatever way, is succeeded in spending his 8 years, believe it or not, we're going back to Egypt. It would be so much, the impact is so much devastating on Nigeria. So your word, your preaching over all these years about break it down now, that is the only way for Nigeria at this moment. The handwriting is right on the wall. Tinubu can't do anything. You remember that APC used to strive on this decentralization of power through federalism. All those things. You don't hear anything about that anymore.
They're not talking about it anymore.
He can't do it. He can't do it anymore. He can't do it anymore because the president is all about survival. It's about survival. The wrong man is in power. Whatever they say he should do is what he's going to do.
Yes.
So Nigeria is not the interest of the current rulers of Nigeria. Nigeria is not the Nigerians are not in consideration of the rulers of the future of Nigeria. Break it down now, or else.
We are done for.
Only God knows where we went. We are really, really done for. It's a sad day. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I hope a lot of us are consciously following this conversation, okay? And the idea of I don't care or the idea of whataboutism. All those things that makes us give excuses why, you know, we can't do anything. I hope a lot of us are looking into reconsidering now. Because if not, we are done for real, Baba. We are done for. You stay safe, man, okay? You have a good one. That's a Bengana there from Canada. Here is Ike. Hello.
Hello, Maiyegun.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I've been trying to reach you for a while. I left a message.
I am so happy that you got through this evening. Please.
Maiyegun, I want to say something about you.
Please.
And I am not toasting you. I am not I'm not a woman. But I want to pray for you.
Thank you.
I have watched you. I've listened to you. I just joined. I just started following you.
Oh, bless you, man.
I've never met so many like you who is so detribalized, so straightforward. You say it as it is. You put your life on the line for Nigeria. You put your life. It's not about the buy me coffee, buy me this.
I know.
But you're putting your life on the line. This is a true hero. The fact that you could come out to expose this, I've been waiting to call you. Yes, everybody has, but may God bless you. May God guide you. I put on my Facebook profile just now, even though some of the things I've been told just now, you know, might make me go and remove, because I said, may God protect Trump. But on hindsight or rethinking, most of your callers have mentioned it, and it's very clear.
Now you
Trump is a
to see
businessman.
from different perspective. That's why I love this platform too, right? A lot of people will kind of make their contribution to get you thinking. I love it.
Yes, yes. Now Trump really, like somebody the last speaker just said, Tinubu is a businessman. They may allow this thing to come out now so that Tinubu know that there's a bigger stake, and he's going to go outside and renegotiate, even if he's going to sell every Nigerian child for it.
It would gladly
do you understand? Yes. Now the truth is, instead of us keep hammering on the negative side of what Tinubu could do, we could just give him a leeway. So, but boy, just like what happened in the attempt at Niger, when David Hunde came out and exposed him, he got thinking it was going to backfire. It was going to decapitate the whole of Nigeria, and he changed his mind.
He put David's life on the line, right? But he changed everything.
It changed everything.
That
What stopped Tinubu from coming out?
Prevented war between Nigeria and Niger. People may not understand it, but that singular act,
it would have repeated a Ukraine-Russia situation.
It could have been a different story today, a different conversation entirely today.
So you are another Hyundai David who has he's taking out his life for the cause of Nigeria. Now, if this message can get out to Tinubu, what does it stop him for saying, like, this offer was made to Peter Obi? I'm sure you heard it. Peter Obi said it indirectly when he came back, and he said, no, he's not going to do it. Tinubu can equally come out and say, no, this is my country, I'd rather die. Do you understand? Just if he were able to turn back on the Niger thing, what stopped him from turning back? On the issue of federalism, well, I don't want to, that's one area I think I'm smelling something in the kitchen. Right. I hope it's real. I'm smelling it. I'm seeing some moves. I know it's going to be resisted, but I'm seeing some moves from Tinubu. If he does that and he succeeds in the refederalization of Nigeria, let me put it that way, he will go down as a hero. No, see, nobody can be perfect, right? Sometimes your own sin. You see this country they call America, or this Western world. They will make you fight yourself and stand out and say, can you look at you? Can you see yourself? You can't even, just like, was it De Klerk or Peter Botha that said it about Africans not being able to govern themselves? Do you understand?
I'm with you.
So we should have the more likes. I wish I could still talk, even after this, talk more. The likes of you, the Hyundaians, I do my own bit. But you've taken it notches. And the thing I keep repeating, I want to repeat this. I love the fact that you are a totally detribalized, unsentimental, straight, direct, open. I almost called you a motherfucker, but man, you guys, you are good and you are blessed.
Well, in a good way. I'm with you, man.
Yes, yes, yeah. I'm telling you, I watch you. I'm tripped. I'm tripped. I'm tripped.
Man. Thank you.
There are people I see out there. They're supposed to be people's family, people's fathers. I mean, some people will soon be preparing to exit this world. You don't ask yourself question, where do I go to? What next? Some people are amassing. If we have to cut Tinubu some slack, he might be under immense pressure. He has a heart. They might be pressuring him. But the problem, if he is hearing this, is he might have the wrongest people around him who somebody told Tinubu now when he was going to attack Niger. It was people say, oh, Gajika Piki, just so they walk. And he dropped it. Do you understand? There's this thing they call lawyers. I don't know, correct me if I'm right. So I'm an Igbo person, but I read Janima Daru. Do you understand? You know what it means?
Those who benefit from chaos.
From chaos. I read Janima Daru, yes. So there are some people around him who will always say, go on song, kusi much, go on song.
No,
because of just no shaking.
Okay.
So everybody, the last lady that spoke, everybody has spoken my mind. But please, may God bless you. Please stay safe.
And you too, man.
Stay safe.
Thank you very much, okay?
Stay safe.
And you too. You have a very good
Take care of you.
Thank you so much. I am taking just one more call, and that's going to be us this evening. And this is coming from Adeola. Hello there.
Yeah, man. Sorry,
Adeola, how are you?
Postman. I'm very well. I don't even know what to say tonight, man.
It is a steaming night.
But I'll say that.
It's an interesting one, too.
But I'll just say this very quickly. Baba, today you deliver your polling unit.
Tell me about it.
You deliver your polling unit.
Because it's more or less like an area of our forte. A lot of things has been exposed on this platform.
Baba, you deliver your polling unit. You deliver your confirmer. You deliver your polling unit. Tonight is probably one of my best shows ever because it's a breakdown of the expose of what we are seeing. Very quickly, I just see it as any compromise you have on you, if you're an asset, is like how I put it, in the eyes of these intelligent American guys, it's likened to trading cards. You know, when you go into a place,
just like the cat clause, right? Where they can use you to grab the
I have all kinds of cards
without them having to get
different cards on the table. So, as an American president, regardless if you are an independent candidate, regardless if you are a Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. Those cards are on the table. Is how you use those cards that matter. So, the current American president can choose to hold the Nigerian card and say, okay, fine, what's on this card? What are the opportunities on this card? Is it lithium? Is it cobalt? Is it gold? Is it uranium? Is it strategic? And if it's not resources, is the country strategic to something that we can use to take over on that country? So there are different kinds of high-level intelligence on those cards. And anyone surrounding Trump that helped Trump can take the Nigerian card if he's interested to monetize it. So we are up for grabs, Baba. We are up for grabs. So intelligence, information is not just intelligence.
America would never elect anybody who is an asset of any other country.
No.
You get that now? Because they know what it means.
No. See, Baba, the Nigerian card, I believe, but it carries many opportunities. There is no point having a compromise that you cannot monetize. So let us get it, straight. So the Nigerian card could carry an opportunity for it to be weaponized against any other foreign power they don't like. So it might just be a good tool to weaponize against Russia. It could be anything. So every compromise, every intelligence carries material opportunities. So if you're a Trump, if you're a Democrat, it depends on who is in power, and it depends on how clever they can use those cards. So the Nigerian card is up for grabs. So if anybody likes the Nigerian cards that helped Trump into power, we just flip you open. Okay, what are the as long as CIA has information on it, what can I take from this card? How can I commercialize this card? Am I into tech? Am I into natural resources? Who are the guys that are playing in this field? And I want this card, and I want this card, and I want uranium. I want this card. I want gold. I want this card. I want you to take away every person that's number one in managing this material good. I want that proposition, and Tinubu will be beholden to them because it's an asset. So, Baba.
So, what does this actually really mean? Because I believe this is a threat to Nigeria's national security. And if your president is a threat to your national security, your national well-being, there must be some what do you call it? Some institutions in Nigeria that should ordinarily see what this means to the general
ordinarily. We do not have,
or everything is already everything is already like captured as a state capture right now.
See, Baba Maiyegun, not in an ideal world, you will have stronger institutions that will kick against Tinubu being a national asset, and they'll kick him out. But because we do not have strong institutions, or maybe this could be the birth of strong institutions, whereby Nigerians should not be beholden to a foreign asset that is just a maybe I'll just digress quickly. In Russian language, there's what you call Polenzi Durak. It's called useful idiots. He's a useful idiot. He is a useful idiot. Is likened to a useful idiot. Is likened to a lapdog. So we will be building to them indirectly. Anyone holding assets. So scrap that, Baba. If it was a strong society that had strong, institutions, we were able to say, okay, fine, we won't take this. This is the last we can take. Or this could be the birth of us having strong institutions. But because Nigerians generally, they're on survival mode, nobody really cares about this new information. Everybody's running helter skelter.
It's no longer us alleging, suspecting. It's
no. See, Baba, this kind of news, the average Nigerian is unbothered because all he wants to do is to have food on his table. And that's where the problem lies. And I believe that the Nigerian card will be dealt so much that they will destroy the country. The country will just break. But I may just leave this phone tonight because I don't see a way out. I just see that whatever actions that is carried against Nigeria would lead to a sudden demise. Baba, good night, sir.
Good night too, Adiola. Thank you so much. And everyone, it's been an interesting evening or night. Depends on the time you are joining us or you are watching this, okay? Well, for every good thing, right, there's a beginning. There's always going to be an end. Sometimes we don't want it to end. I get it, okay? But yeah, so those of us who still want to have one or two things to say, whether for or against, it doesn't really matter. There will be another time. Hopefully that will be tomorrow's afternoon because this is not over. Again, we will keep hammering on it, okay? We will need to put it out there every now and then because our life is at stake. And listen to me, that you are in Nigeria or you are not in Nigeria doesn't really matter anymore, okay? As long as you have an affiliation to that country, we are in a mess, a very big one, okay? And I will continue to do my best to make it or to simplify it for whoever cares to listen. We are in a mess. And if you are in doubt before, now we have everything that we need to know about why we are not getting out of the woods anytime soon. We are not. So America can do whatever they want with us. With Tinubu and his gang in charge, we are just done for. It's as simple as that. I am going to see you again. But please, if you haven't really liked the broadcast at this point, please do, okay? And also, share this, subscribe to the channel. If they don't shut it down before tomorrow morning, right? I'm going to see you again. tomorrow. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun Diary Diary Politico. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáà ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe.